Hi all, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Right. So I would like to know, is anybody here for demo class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Manjali. Anybody else?
I have just joined today.
Okay, you joined, is it? Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Is anybody repeating writing task 2 module?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, Bhuvana and Achyut. Fine, noted. Okay. So first of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Chitra Arnachalam from English Springs. So before we get started with writing task 2, I would like to give a brief introduction about IELTS, as today is the first day of the week. IELTS, as we all know, it stands for International English Language Testing System, and this is to test your English proficiency. Okay. So we have two types of exams. One is academic and the other one is general. If you want to pursue higher studies in abroad, then we go with academic. And for work and PR purpose, we go with general. On the whole, we have 4 modules: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. All the 4 modules are similar for both the academic and general, but there is a slight variation in writing task 1. Okay. I'll tell you that later. And each and every module is for 9 bands. Then it's up to you. You can go with either paper-based test or computer-based test. Okay. So I would like to tell everybody, please feel very comfortable. Don't feel hesitant. And I want everybody to contribute a lot of ideas, okay? Because writing task 2 is all about the essays, right? In which we'll be coming across different types of essays, so that it would be so nice. We'll be able to enrich our knowledge if we contribute a lot of ideas, right? Please mute your mics if you have any doubts, and whenever you want to share something, at that time you can unmute yourself and ask me. And if you have any doubts, of course, you can drop a message in the chat box, right? Okay, so we shall get started with writing task 2. Writing task 2, this is the writing task, is the third module in the real exam. And on the whole, the time duration is 60 minutes, okay? And the band is for 9 bands. So I told you, right, there is a difference in writing task 1. Academic students, they'll be, describing the statistical or non-statistical information, whereas general students will be writing a letter. Okay. And time duration for writing task 1 is 20 minutes and minimum word count is 150 words. You can write up to 200 words. That's not a problem. And this is for 3 bands. So writing task 1 is only for 3 bands. Dealing with writing task 2, it's all about writing an essay, okay? And the time duration is 40 minutes. Minimum word count is 250 words. You can write up to 300 words. And the band, this is for 6 bands, okay? Now, we shall see the types of essays in IELTS, okay? Lenovo, could you please rename your device? How should I address you? Right. So we have 4 types of essays, okay? And the most challenging part when you deal with writing task 2 is identifying the type of essay. That's quite challenging, okay? So make sure that you understand all the types so that it will be easy for you to identify the type of essay. So we have 4 types. First one is advantages and disadvantages. You'll be given a domain, okay, a topic. What you're supposed to do is you have to come up with the advantages and disadvantages of the same topic, okay? Pros and cons of the same topic. That is type 1. And type 2, you will be given a problem, okay? And you are supposed to come up with the causes, the reasons behind it, and the effects, the results because of that, and solution. What are the ways to solve the problem? Okay, so type 2, it's all about you'll be dealing with a problem where you're supposed to write causes, effects, and solutions. Then type 3, this is an argumentative essay. This is an opinion essay where you have to agree or disagree. Okay, you have to come up with your opinions. You have to state your opinions very clearly. Okay, you have to come up with the reasons like why you opine with so and so, right? So type 3 is all about an opinion essay, an argumentative essay. And type 4 is discuss both the views. Say you will be given 2 different views. For example, some people prefer nuclear family. This is one view. Second view would be some people prefer extended family. So there are 2 different views. What you're supposed to do is you have to discuss these 2 views, and finally in the conclusion you are supposed to write your opinion. Okay, so these are the 4 types. Type 1 is advantages, disadvantages. Type 2 is causes, effects, and solutions. Type 3 is agree, disagree, and type 4 is discuss both the views. Okay, now what are we going to see is we are going to deal with structure of writing an essay. So whatever you write, make sure that your write-up is completely organized. That's very important. Okay, we cannot now clutter the information here and there. That's completely not okay. So let's follow this format. Okay, and you must always start writing from the left-hand side without leaving any space. So this is the structure of writing an essay. We have introduction, body paragraph, and then conclusion. Let's see one by one. Introduction. See, in introduction, what we do, we introduce a topic, right? We introduce a topic, and we are not going to write anything on our own. Very simple as that. See, in the question, you are just going to rewrite the given topic. Simple as that. So here what we do is we paraphrase. Paraphrase is nothing but rewriting. Okay, so in introduction, we are not going to write anything on our own. We are just going to rewrite the given topic. So when I say rewrite, you can use some alternatives. Like alternatives means you can use synonyms, examples, or even antonyms. And I must say, this paraphrasing is an essential skill in IELTS. You have to be very proficient at that. Okay. So this is all about introduction. And I'll be guiding you in upcoming sessions how you can deal with introduction. And you can write minimum 50 words. Okay. And after that, after writing introduction, you are supposed to leave one line after every paragraph. Then we have to deal with body paragraph. You can write minimum 2 body paragraphs to maximum 4 body paragraphs. Okay. You can write minimum 2 body paragraphs to maximum 4 body paragraphs. And it completely depends on the topic. Okay. And actually, we provide you the template. If you're convenient with that, you can make use of the template, or else you can create a template on your own. So that's up to you. So for example, if you are dealing with type 4 essay, discuss both the views. So what you can do is, in paragraph 1, you can write about view 1. And in paragraph 2, you can write about view 2. So we have 2 body paragraphs, simple as that, right? And here you can have for each and every body paragraph, you can write minimum 75 words. And we must keep an eye on the word count. We must not exceed the word count. You can write up to 300 words, but not beyond that. Okay. Then conclusion. See, you must not reiterate or repeat the opinion that you have stated in the body paragraphs. Okay. So the points that you write in conclusion must be completely different. That's very important. Different in the sense, the words that you use. Okay. And in conclusion, you have to state your opinion very clearly. You have to state your point of view very clearly. That's very important. Okay. So this is the structure of writing an essay. So we write introduction, then body paragraphs, and then comes the conclusion, right? So this is one of the tips, because it would be very difficult, right, for us to count each and every word. So just count the lines. If you cross 35 lines, it means you are done with 250 word count. Okay, so please do remember this. So this is all about structure of writing an essay. Now we shall deal with, actually there are certain things in which we have to avoid while writing. This applies for both writing task 1, okay, and writing task 2 as well. Avoid giving any headings or subheadings. So normally, how do we write when we were in schools and colleges and all? We used to write like this, right? Introduction. We used to write synopsis and all. Introduction, then we write the content. But in IELTS, a strict no. You have to straight away start with the content. Don't give headings or subheadings, okay? And don't write everything in capital letters. We actually recommend all the students to capture the answers in capital letters when they deal with reading and listening module. But when you deal with writing, please don't capture everything in capital letters, okay? But whenever necessary, for example, if you want to mention a name of a place, for example, Australia, of course, we are supposed to capitalize the first letter. So I evaluated a lot of answer scripts so far. Most of the students, they just use the capital letters unnecessarily. Okay, please don't do that. Your marks will get reducted. So wherever necessary, please capitalize only those letters. Okay. Then avoid using any highlights. Please don't underline, don't bold, don't italics, don't do anything. Okay, it has to be, a raw text. And don't use any symbols like bullet, slash, ampersand. If you want to use ampersand, don't use this. You are supposed to write A and D only. Okay. And we must not write in points. It has to be in paragraphs. That's very important. And don't use any abbreviations. If you want to write that is, you are supposed to write like this only. That is. Okay. That is example at the rate of, with respect to World Health Organization. So don't write, don't use abbreviations. Always try to expand them and write. Then avoid using contractions. See, contractions are short forms, okay? Normally we use contractions when we deal with informal things. But writing in IELTS is completely formal, okay? The only thing which is informal in IELTS is speaking. So in speaking, you can use contractions, but in writing, as it is completely formal, we must not use contractions, okay? Don't use these. See, contractions are not contraction is what? Aren't. And it's not contraction is isn't. So please don't use these contractions when you write. And next, avoid using unpunctuated text, which means you are supposed to use punctuation marks. See, the template that we provide, it has got n number of punctuations. So when you are trying to by heart the template, okay, please do by heart along with the punctuation marks. That's very important. Okay, so please do go through all these things, have a glance at them, make sure that you don't use them while writing. Right? So are you all able to follow the class till this? Did you all understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes,
if there
ma'am.
is any number, can we write in words or we can mention for numbers.
You can write in letters itself. Okay. But if you want to mention year and all, of course, you can use numbers. Numbers,
Okay.
it's not a problem, Bharat. Right. Okay. So next one is scoring parameters. See, I always tell my students, like whatever module you deal with, it's very important to have a strong knowledge on the scoring parameters. Then only you will be able to know where you actually stand, right? You'll be able to analyze yourself. So let's see the scoring parameters. We have 4 scoring parameters: task response, coherence and cohesion, lexical resources, grammatical range, and accuracy. So let's say one by one. First one is task response, understanding of the topic and the question. What does it mean? See, I told you what is the challenging part in writing task 2. What is that? Identifying the type of essay, right? If you are not focusing on the topic, if you're not reading it properly, if you're not understanding the question properly, then you end up writing different type of essay, wrong type of essay. Okay, so make sure that you read the question, the topic once, twice, thrice, not a big deal at all, but please do spend some time in understanding the topic, understanding the question. That's very important. Okay. And then generation of ideas. That's very important. See, sometimes you may come across very simple topics, and sometimes you may come across unfamiliar topics or difficult topics. But anyhow, we are supposed to write some ideas in each and every paragraph. So you are supposed to come up with some valid ideas. So for that, what you have to do is during your practice session, start going through the sample answers and start listening to other answers as well, so that you will have a good idea. So it would be very easy for you during your real exam to generate ideas. Okay. And in this session, in upcoming session, I'll be teaching you the major topics in which you have to focus on, so that it would be easy for you to prepare on that. And relevant supporting example. See, for example, if you are dealing with 2 paragraphs, paragraph 1 and paragraph 2, it's mandatory to write at least three ideas. Okay. So here 3 ideas, and in paragraph 2, 3 ideas. And the ideas must be completely different. You must not repeat the ideas what you have stated from paragraph 1 in paragraph 2. Make sure that your ideas are completely different. So this is paragraph 1 and paragraph 2, you generated ideas. So you are supposed to come up with a relevant supporting example. And this example is mandatory for the first idea. So idea plus example. You do not want to give example for second and third ideas and all. Just idea will do. Okay. But for first thing alone, you are supposed to come up with an example, right, of each and every paragraph. That's very important. When I say example, you can actually come up with an example, or you can try to elaborate the stated idea. Okay. And you may ask me, like, what kind of examples we can come up with. Try to avoid using personalized examples. Try to come up with generalized examples. Okay. So when I say generalized examples, you can use some of the expressions like this: according to the study. Okay. In a recent article. Okay. Article. According to the research. Okay. So try to use these kind of expressions, and you can come up with generalized examples. Okay. And whenever you come up with an example, make sure that this example is relevant to this idea. Okay. And then word count, as I already mentioned, you have to keep an eye on your word count. You can write 250 words, and you can go beyond 300 words. I mean, you can write up to 300 words, but not beyond 300 words. And if you write 249 words, if you write less, that also will affect your score. Okay. And most of the students have misconception that if they write a lot, they will be able to fetch high score. Actually, it's not right. It's all about how clearly you project the information, you present the information. That's very important. Okay, so all you need to do is you have to project the ideas, project the information very clearly. That's very important. And legibility of handwriting, if you're going with paper-based test, then you are supposed to write in a way where the examiner can really understand it, number one. And if you're going with computer-based tests, make sure that your typing speed is really, really good with 100% accuracy, because there is no spell check. You cannot just press F7. You cannot do the spell check over there. Okay. So this is all about the task response, understanding of the topic and the question, generation of ideas, relevant supporting examples, word count, and legibility of handwriting. Next, moving on to the coherence and cohesion parameter. See, these two terms play the major role in IELTS, okay, both in, in writing as well as in speaking. Coherence is nothing but it deals with the logical, okay, something which is logical and something which has clarity. So whatever you write, it must be logical and it must have clarity, okay. And cohesion is nothing but organization of ideas. Like your ideas must be joined together by using connectors, right? So see, it would be very easy for you to generate ideas, but it would be quite difficult to express those ideas into logically, grammatically correct sentences. And it comes by practice. Okay. Then I told you, right, each and every paragraph must have one central idea. And in order to show the cohesion, please make use of linking words and connectors. Connectors are nothing but, for example, in addition to, moreover, however, nevertheless, nonetheless, and all. So the template that we provide, it has got a n number of connectors. So that's not a problem. Anyways, I'll be showing you the list of connectors. So this is all about coherence and cohesion, logical clarity, and organization of ideas. Moving on to the next parameter, which is lexical resources. Spellings, of course, very important. Sometimes when you deal with confusing words, for example, see, some of the students, they write this there instead of there, or even they write there. So make sure that you don't misspell a word. If you misspell a word, then that will be marked wrong. And paraphrasing, I told you. So every now and then we'll be using the topic throughout the essay. So we cannot repeat the words that are there in the question. So we are supposed to come up with different words. So this paraphrasing is very important. Okay. And for that, in order to possess good paraphrasing skill, you have to have good knowledge on vocabulary. Please enhance your vocabulary skill. That will definitely fetch high marks, okay, high score. So this is all about lexical resources. And moving on to the last parameter, grammatical range and accuracy. See, I told you, whatever you write, it must, you must show variation in your write-up. That's very important. So you can use different sentence structures. You can use simple, you can use complex, you can use compound. And you must know the basic rules of grammar. That's very important. If you make a lot of grammatical mistakes, and definitely your marks will get reducted. So make sure that you know the basic rules of grammar, the parts of speech such as noun, verb, adjective, adverb, prepositions, conjunctions, pronouns. And please use, different tenses, simple present, past, past perfect. We have 12 tenses. Please make use of them. And articles, we must have strong knowledge on them as well. And the plurals, certain words that end with yes, we have singulars, we must have good knowledge on them. And punctuation marks, as I told you, it's very important to place full stop, comma, semicolon, colon, wherever necessary, because punctuation marks add clarity and create sense, okay? And then possessive nouns. Say possessive nouns, which means using apostrophe s, okay? So why do we use this? We actually use apostrophe yes to show the possession, to show the ownership. Okay. Say for instance, let me just give you a sentence. This house belongs to Sanjay. Okay, this house belongs to Sanjay. So I want everybody to restructure the sentence by using apostrophe s. Okay, please drop your answer in the chat box so that everybody gets the opportunity and I'll be able to see all the answers. It must be a sentence, okay? It must be a sentence. This house belongs to Sanjay. I want you to restructure this. It has to be in a sentence. Okay. I want everybody to respond. That's okay if you come up with right or wrong answers. That's not a problem. Make sure that you try. Okay. That's good. So where we can place apostrophe as, this is Sanjay's house. Okay. This is Sanjay's house. Right. So where we placed apostrophe s, we just placed apostrophe s along with Sanjay. Because if we ask the question, whose house is this? This is Sanjay's house. Okay. So who possesses this house? Sanjay. Right. So similarly, if we deal with girl, girl is what? Girl is singular. Okay. And if you want to say, this is girl apostrophe s hostel. But if you deal with this girls, the word which ends with yes, which is plural. So how we can write the sentence? This is girls, plural. This word already has yes. So what we are supposed to do, we have to just place apostrophe. This is girls hostel. Okay, so we must know where to place apostrophe s and where to place apostrophe. Okay. And mostly for non-living things, we don't place apostrophe. For example, we cannot say the chair's leg is broken. This is incorrect. The correct one is the leg of the chair is broken. Okay, that's very important. So make sure that you have good knowledge on making use of apostrophe. But if you're so confused, if you are in a baffled situation where to place apostrophe, then you can restructure the sentence in other way. That's not a problem. Okay. So please don't get confused. Okay, that's very important. So these are the four scoring parameters: task response, coherence and cohesion, lexical resources, grammatical range, and accuracy. Okay. Now, finally, we shall see how to manage the time. You have only 40 minutes and you're supposed to write an essay which has nearly 250 to 300 words. So how we shall do it? How we can write an effective essay? If you're not planning your work, then we'll not be able to write a beautiful essay. So please do some groundwork for 5 to 6 minutes. Okay. So what do you do during that time? We are supposed to read and understand the question, highlight the keywords, find out the alternatives, nothing but we are going to paraphrase the given topic. We are going to rewrite the given topic and try to jot down the ideas relevant to the topic. See, it's not, what I'm coming to say is, it's not necessary that you have to write in complete sentences, but you must have clear-cut idea. Okay, in first paragraph, I'm going to come up with these many ideas. In second paragraphs, I'm going to write these many ideas. So you must have clear-cut picture and try to think of an example. Okay, so please plan your work. Please do your groundwork for 5 to 6 minutes. And then writing time, okay, 30 to 32 minutes. See, please do trust me. You will be able to write a beautiful essay if you follow the structure. So can anybody tell me what is the structure of writing an essay?
Introduction, body paragraph, conclusion.
Good. Introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusion. So please follow the structure. Number 2, you have to by heart the template really well. Okay. So that you do not want to think about those sentences. You have to just generate ideas. Okay. So structure, following the structure, by hearting the template. And finally, you have to make use of this groundwork time efficiently. So if you do all these 3 things, definitely you'll be able to write a beautiful essay, right? So you'll be spending 30 to 32 minutes. And proofreading, definitely you have to spend some time to review your answer. Why? Because definitely you'll be able to come up with at least 2 to 3 mistakes. And please do make changes wherever necessary, right? And one other thing is, see, you can use pencil or pen. So going with paper-based test, but I strongly recommend everybody to make use of pencil. Why? Because if you want to make changes, then it will be very easy for you when you use pencil. And please possess calm state of mind, because writing is a 3rd module. You might be exhausted, you might be completely tired, after dealing with listening and reading. This is a 3rd module. You might be tired. So please possess calm state of mind, gear up yourself, pep up yourself, motivate yourself, and write it well, okay? So this is all about proofreading. So groundwork 5 to 6 minutes, writing time 30 to 32 minutes, and proofreading 2 to 3 minutes, right? So please do follow this. So till this, is everything clear with everybody? Do you have any doubts? Shall we move on to the first type?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What about others? Are you all able to follow the class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
it's very
ma'am.
clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So we shall get started with the first type, which is advantages and disadvantages. Right. So see here. Advantages and disadvantages. So you may get questions like this. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages. Or else they may ask you like this: what are the advantages and disadvantages? Do you think advantages outweigh means greater, outweigh the disadvantages? Okay. And also you can see other words which can replace advantages and disadvantages, and you may expect them in the question. So you must not go blank. Instead of advantages and disadvantages, they can say like discuss the merits and demerits, or discuss the pros and cons. So please have a look at them. These are the few words which replace the words advantages and disadvantages: gains, drawbacks, merits, demerits, positives, negatives, pros and cons, boons and banes, benefits and losses, virtues and vices. Okay. So just go through the different things, like discuss the advantages and disadvantages of studying and living in a foreign country. See, first of all, you must have clear picture. You need to know which is the question and which is the topic. See, discuss the advantages and disadvantages. This is the question. And which is the topic? Studying and living in a foreign country. This is the topic. Okay. So please first identify that. And when you're paraphrasing for introduction, you are supposed to paraphrase only the topic, not the question. So henceforth, I'll be mentioning question and the topic. So you must know which is the question and which is the topic. So this is a question, the yellow one is question, and the green one is the topic. Okay. So here I have listed out few topics. Just have a glance at them. We have studying and living in a foreign country, work study, studying through distance education, having pets, going on tours, developing tourism, space tourism, living in a multicultural community that motorized flight has brought to society, that fast food has brought to society, living in rural or urban area, living in house or flat, living in nuclear or joint family, playing traditional or video games. Okay. Now, what are we going to do is We are going to deal with the first topic, discuss the advantages and disadvantages of studying and living in a foreign country. So here we have the template. So we shall work on that. So first and foremost thing is read the question and the topic really well. Understand the question and understand the topic really well. Yes, Seema? Seema,
Hello, excuse me, ma'am.
yes.
Ma'am, actually, I'm not going for studies. I'm looking forward for my job. For
Okay.
that purpose, I'm doing this course. So this
Hmm.
is the same as this is a academic or this is a general, ma'am?
Writing task 2 is same for academic and general. This is writing
So-
task 2.
Okay, so I can continue this class as per.
Yes. Yes,
okay,
Seema, of course.
Okay. Thank you.
Only writing task 1 differs, Seema. Apart from that, all the modules are same.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Right. So first read the question, read the topic, understand the question, understand the topic. That's the first one. Second thing, what you're supposed to do is you have to highlight the keywords. Okay. When I say you have to highlight the keywords from the topic. Okay. Not from the question. So what are the keywords that we have here? Studying. Yeah. I'm just underlining this. And living. As this is the first question, I'm just showing it to you. In upcoming topics, I'll be asking you to highlight the keywords, then foreign country. So just try to exclude the connectors and try to exclude the prepositions, okay? So studying, living, and foreign country, these are the keywords. Now, the next step is we are supposed to come up with the alternatives, okay? So let's do that. Alternatives for the word studying. Okay. What could be the alternatives for the word studying?
Education.
Okay. Learning. Right. Okay. Learning.
Pursuing.
Yeah. Pursuing education. Yeah. Pursuing. Then pursuing higher educations, you can just add on like that, or even higher studies. Okay. Or else achieving. Try to have a notepad with you and please jot down the alternatives because it would be so useful for your other tasks and also for speaking. Or else we can say achieving scholastic goals. Yeah. Or else acquiring technical knowledge. Yeah. If you come up with 3 to 4 alternatives, that would be good. That would be fine, right? So these are the alternatives for the word studying. Now we shall move on to the next word, living. So please contribute your alternatives. What could be the alternatives for the word studying?
Livelihood.
Yeah, earning a livelihood. Beautiful. Earning a livelihood. Then I want everybody to be so interactive. That's okay if you come up with wrong word. It's not a problem, but make sure that you contribute your ideas. Earning a livelihood. Then
Residing, abiding.
very good. Residing, staying. Yeah. You can even use settling down or seeking an accommodation, or you can even use surviving. Okay. So these are some of the alternatives for the word living. Now moving on to the next keyword, foreign country. So tell me what could be the alternatives?
Abroad.
Very good. Abroad. Then
Out of station?
Out of town, that would not be the most appropriate because
Out
here
of
we are
country?
out of country. Yes. Then,
Overseas.
yeah, beautiful. Overseas. Or else you can just say,
International.
yeah,
Beyond seas.
international locations. Beyond seas, yes. Or else you can say unknown regions. Okay. And this is a beautiful hyphenated word, far-flung country. Far-flung country. Or you can use far off places or lands.
Distant country,
Sorry?
distant,
Yeah, distant nations, alien nations. Okay. Right. So these are some of the alternatives for the word foreign country, for the words foreign country. Now, what did we do? We read the topic, we read the question, we understood them, we highlighted the keywords, and then we came up with the alternatives. And finally, what we are supposed to do was we have to paraphrase this, okay? So you are going to paraphrase only the topic, not the question. So studying and living in a foreign country. So what you have to do is you have to just place those alternatives, right? You do not want to take care of that conjunctions and prepositions and all. So for example, pursuing higher education, and instead of living, let me just write settling down in a foreign country. So instead of foreign country, I'm just going to write in a far-flung country. So this is paraphrasing. Okay, so what I have done, I have just replaced these highlighted words. Simple as that. So pursuing higher education and settling down in a far-flung country. Okay, so let us just try to come up with 2 to 3 paraphrased ones. So please do tell me, instead of studying, what shall I use here? Anything here?
Learning and earning a livelihood.
Yeah, learning
in
and
abroad.
exactly. Learning and earning a livelihood in abroad. Okay, perfect. And next one, acquiring technical knowledge and seeking.
Seeking and
Yeah. Seeking. Yes, Aisha.
Are we assuming here for the higher education? Because it's not necessary that someone goes out of the country for higher education only. So here won't it be too specific saying pursuing higher education?
That's okay. See, even here we are mentioning technical knowledge. It's up to you. It's up to you because you are just coming up with the words which are related to studying, right?
All right, okay.
Yeah. So this is actual word. Here you're just adding on it. That's okay. So acquiring technical knowledge and seeking an accommodation in what? In overseas. Yeah. So I have just paraphrased the topic, right? So first we shall see the introduction. I told you can write minimum 50 words, okay? So first, wherever you see theme paraphrased, you're supposed to use the sentence, okay? The paraphrased one. So let me just deal with the first one. So the theme paraphrased, I'm just pasting it here. Okay. So pursuing higher education and settling down in a far-flung country is relatively a new concept. Say here you have slash. So instead of new concept, you can write it's not a new phenomenon. So it's up to you. Full stop. But in more recent times, but comma, in more recent times, comma, this trend has gained momentum. Momentum means popularity. So you can use either gained momentum or popularity. That's up to you. Thanks to or due to. You can write any one. So here you can write due to multifarious reasons. Okay. Multifarious reasons. Multifarious means numerous reasons. Okay. So I'm just highlighting what I have edited here, right? Apart from that, everything is the template. Then, however, comma, after, however, it's very important to place comma. However, comma, there are both advantages and disadvantages. See, again, here they have mentioned the theme. So here only we mentioned the paraphrase, the topic. So what we can do is to this practice. Once in a while, you can write this to this practice, but not every time. Wherever you see the word theme, you cannot write to the practice. Okay, please don't do it. Like once in a while you can. So this is the introduction, very simple. So what did I do? If you by heart the template really well, you are just supposed to implement only this sentence and this one. Simple as that. Right? Apart from that, everything is there in the template itself. Let's go through the introduction once again. Pursuing higher education and settling down in a far-flung country is relatively a new concept. So I'm just taking off this. But, comma, in more recent times, comma, this trend has gained momentum. So I would like to use gained momentum. So I'm just taking off this gained popularity, comma, thanks to multifarious reasons. However, there are both advantages and disadvantages to this practice. This is the introduction. Very simple as that. Right? Is this clear with everybody? How to write the introduction, how to paraphrase a given topic? Do you have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Right. Okay. So please go through them for a second. Right. So in order to see, sometimes whenever we deal with unfamiliar questions, unfamiliar words, it would be very difficult for us to come up with, these kind of alternatives. It is possible only when you go through sample answers, only when you attempt different questions. Just by listening to the class or just by, just by going through the sample answers also, you will not be able to make it out. So try to attempt, try to practice a lot many essays. So we are done with introduction. Okay. Now we shall just see the template of advantages and disadvantages. See, this is the yes, Amama. Have you got something to say?
Yeah, ma'am, can we get 7+ bands using this template, ma'am?
Of course.
Because sometimes our ideas might look like we are forcefully introducing in here.
How do you say that?
I simply thought like that. Because sometimes our ideas might not fit into it properly, into these sentences.
How do you say that? Because we are generating the ideas according to the topic only. Nothing, we are not going to deal with the template at all, Amama. You might change the way you write the sentences, way you frame the sentences. That is different. Okay, so we have the templates according to the type of essay only. So it is not going to, trouble you.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the advantages template. And wherever you see the word theme, you're supposed to use the paraphrased one. Please don't repeat the same words from the given topic. Okay. So please go through the template of advantages and disadvantages, and then we shall discuss them. Okay. Please go through the template. right? Okay. So advantages and disadvantages. Now we shall discuss the ideas, okay? And then we shall deal with the template. So please to tell me, what are the advantages? First, let's generate ideas. What are the advantages of studying and living in a foreign country? Those who are repeating the class, you can drop your ideas in the chat box. And those who are attending this class for the first time, I want you to come forward and please contribute your ideas. So my question is, what are the advantages of studying and living in a foreign country?
Good job opportunities.
Okay. Mhm.
Getting to experience new culture.
Okay, good. Good.
Practical knowledge.
Sorry,
Practical knowledge.
practical knowledge. Okay.
Quality education.
Okay. Quality education.
Exposure to the new culture.
Okay. Exposure to the new culture. Okay.
Learning a new language and communication skills.
Okay. Learning a new language and enhancing the communication skills. Okay. Okay, then
Seeing a difference in the weather or the climate.
are you saying that that is one of the advantages?
Okay.
Mm,
Upbringing our personality.
Okay, so you're talking about the personality development. A person as a whole,
Yes.
personality as an individual. Okay.
Better career prospects.
Better career prospects. Yes, of course. Better job opportunities. You will have very good career growth. Okay. Career prospects. Okay, then. So of course, when we say exposure to the new culture, it doesn't mean we are talking about only the culture. It deals with the food habits, it deals with the language, right? So you will have a kind of global exposure to the new culture. And someone said practical knowledge, right? So abroad they use a lot of updated technologies, recent technologies. So of course it will be completely a practical basis. You'll be able to learn through a lot of practicals. So that is one other thing. And you'll be able to learn a new language, right? And you'll be able to enhance your communication skill, of course. Right? As a person, you really become an independent person, right? When you go abroad, you will become a self-supporting person, a self-reliant, a self-confident person, because you are supposed to take care of your responsibilities. Yes. Then beautifully, you all came up with the advantages. These are the major advantages. Now, it would be okay if you just come up with 3 advantages, okay? So as of now, we just discussed all these things. Now let's discuss the disadvantages. What are the disadvantages of studying and living in a foreign country?
Being away from family.
Yeah, so you feel
Homesickness, ma'am.
exactly homesickness.
Cost of living is high.
Absolutely, cost of living and also the cost of education is also high. It actually costs an arm and a leg. So this means expensive.
Communication
Adapting to
issues.
new culture, new
Sure.
habits.
Okay, so it will be very difficult initially.
Difficult in
Mm. difficult in getting adapted to the, or getting adjusted to the new climate or to the new environment?
Difficult in communicating with people.
Okay.
Communication issues, ma'am.
Yeah, so initially you feel, a lot of hesitant to mingle with other people. So feeling hesitant. Okay, then
Culture shock.
culture shock, of course. Culture shock. And yeah, navigation, traveling will be a problem because you will not have good knowledge on them. Very good, Rizzi. Travel problems. Then
Food habits.
yeah, it would be quite difficult for you to deal with the food habits. Yeah. Yes, then initially you feel very insecure, right? Because you will not know so many people over there. So initially you feel insecure, right? And they may arise some racial conflicts, some kind of discriminations. Yeah. And apart from all these things, one other important thing is what will happen to the home country if all the qualified professionals are moving abroad? What will happen to the home country?
I mean, brain drain, something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. What will happen to the home country? The insufficiency of qualified professionals when they move abroad, that leads to low economic growth of one's nation, right? Subside. Economic growth of one's nation will subside. Okay, so these are the disadvantages. Homesickness, you feel completely lonely. And the cost of living, as you all said, the cost of living and cost of education is too expensive. And you will definitely come up with some health issues, right? It will be so difficult for you to adjust with the climate, environment, food habits, and you will have very good culture shock as well. And you feel very hesitant to mingle with the people as everybody is very new to you. And travel problems, of course, to move from one place to another, as you don't have any knowledge about this, you are supposed to depend on some other person. So that is also a difficult thing. And initially you will feel so insecure, right? And you may come across some kind of racial discriminations. And it will be a little difficult to experience and to come out of that. And finally, the qualified professionals and, if you just go abroad, then the economic growth of one's country will get reduced, will get reduced. Okay. So these are the advantages and disadvantages. So as I mentioned earlier, it will be okay if you just come up with 2 to 3 advantages and disadvantages. So if you see the first body paragraph advantages, what we are going to do here is, let's see the first body paragraph. In first body paragraph, we'll be writing about the advantages, and second body paragraph, we'll be writing about the disadvantages. Simple as that. So there are several benefits too. So please mention the theme here. Okay, just use a paraphrased one. Learning and earning a livelihood abroad. Okay, you can use either this sentence or this one. See, there is a slash here. Make sure that you don't write both the sentences. The virtues bestowed by. Virtues means, the good. Okay, the benefits bestowed means presented by. You have to mention the theme, are aplenty. Aplenty means abundant. So the most remarkable merit to this is, what you have to do, you have to write the first advantage. What is the first advantage? Regarding the job opportunities, career prospects. So you can write this as the first advantage. Yeah. Okay. Then you are supposed to give an example or try to give an elaboration for this advantage. Okay. Then In the same way, don't leave one line and all, you have to just continue. In order to show the difference, I have just brought this down. In the same way, try to write the second advantage. In addition, place comma, third advantage. Last comma, but far from the least, you have to write the last advantage. Okay, so in tomorrow's class, we'll be seeing the body paragraphs in detail. So what you can do is you can just pick up one other topic, okay, and try to come up with the ideas, right? You can choose traveling and tourism, or pets, about the pets, about the rural area, urban area. So just pick up a topic and try to create ideas, or try to go through the sample answers. Okay, so till now we are done with. So what we have seen so far: number one, we have just seen the types of essays. Number two, structure of writing an essay: introduction, body paragraph, conclusion. Then I taught you the things that are to be avoided while writing. Then I taught you scoring parameters. We have 4 scoring parameters. And then I told you how you can manage the time. Then we dealt with introduction, how to write the introduction. And then we just discussed the ideas, okay, advantages and disadvantages. Tomorrow we'll be starting with the body paragraph, okay? So far, do you have any doubts? Are you all feeling comfortable in this class?
Ma'am, I have
Yes,
one
ma'am.
question.
Yes, Priyanka.
So for this topic, we have so many, many advantages and disadvantages.
Mm.
If for some reason the topic is unfamiliar,
Mm.
then we may not get these many advantage, disadvantage points. We may get 1 or 2. So will that work? I mean, if I mention only 2 ideas in the paragraph.
Priyanka, you do not want to come up with these many ideas, okay? As I mentioned, it is enough to come up with 3 ideas. Minimum, you have to write 3 ideas.
3 ideas.
Yes.
Okay.
But if you, when you deal with unfamiliar questions, and if you're coming up with only 2 ideas, that's okay. Try to elaborate these 2 ideas. That is okay.
Okay. And regarding example, you said like in the advantage, first advantage. So we need to discuss there. We can mention our personal or
I
experience.
told you, right? Please don't come up with the personalized example.
Okay.
Try to come up with generalized examples, or try to elaborate this idea itself. Try to explain, try to elaborate this idea.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
See,
Thank you.
yeah, you're very welcome. See, this template is just for your, it acts as a sample. It's not necessary that you have to completely go with this, but this template has got a lot of advanced words and the connectors. So it will not be a difficult thing when you write the essay, because during that time, you do not want to think about all these sentences, whether you have placed connectors, whether you have used the advanced words. You will not have that problem, that difficulty. So during your real exam, it is enough just to generate these ideas, and you are going to implement them in the template. Okay. And it's not necessary that you have to come up with 4 advantages, 4 disadvantages. It's not like that. Minimum, you have to come up with 3. Okay. But definitely when you come across unfamiliar topics, you might come up with only 2 ideas. That's okay. Accordingly, you make use of the template. Make sure that you elaborate these 2 ideas, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Any other doubts? All right.
It's clear, ma'am.
Right, Rakesh. So what about others? Can I just get yes in the chat box so that we shall wind up the class?
Yes, ma'am, it was clear.
Okay, right. So fine, we shall call it a day. Please do practice. We shall see tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye all. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Same to you, ma'am.